This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
The views expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of WPSL. However, I will say this, you're encouraged to like and share them on Facebook, live on WPSL, and on TuneIn, Alexa, and Google Home, with archives on YouTube. It's time for Joanne's World of Nutrition with Joanne Seeger.
Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. I hope everyone's having an awesome day. I am thrilled that today is the guest day with Dr. Ravi, the one time a month. I always joke with Dr. Ravi, is it that Thursday yet? Is it that Thursday? I can't
like
wait.
a kid waiting to get to Disney World.
I am.
Are we there yet?
I love seeing him professionally and on the show. So, good morning, Dr. Ravi.
Good morning.
How you doing
Always
today?
Nice to see you guys as well.
Oh, thank you.
Fine.
Good. All right. Well, we have an awesome show, but before we begin the show, we must do our breathing exercise. I was watching this super cool video last night on breath work, and they had they were promoting an app, and the app, there was a charge, and I stress to people, there's so many free YouTube videos, you don't really need to pay, but I guess this is an app that progressively helps enhance your breathing style and your depth of breath by just like any exercise, every day you do a little more and a little more. Well, this girl, the way she could breathe, holy moly. I mean, we're talking using full lung capacity, and she looked like she was like 100 pounds soaking wet. So you could see everything moving. It was quite thrilling. I mean, I was like, wow, I can barely do an eighth of that. So all my listeners, please don't take breathing for granted, and let's begin with Cliff, the expert counter. How about we'll just do 2 rounds because we have a lot of material to cover. So we'll do the 5 in, hold for 5, and exhale for 5.
5, 5, 5. Oh, okay. And how many? Want to do 2 of them?
Just a couple rounds.
Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Everybody,
let's exhale out.
Stand by and exhale.
I don't know if anyone has fear or drama or anxiety right now, right?
You want to get rid of that fear and
now?
drama and anxiety? This will do it.
Yeah, not now. Yeah, okay, go.
All right. It's out. Now start in. Through your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. 2, 3, 4, 5. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. Even doing it twice. You notice how the stress kind of melts away?
I love it.
Imagine doing this for hours. I know people who can do that for hours.
Yeah, and the one thing that I just noticed, I want everyone to be aware of, and this is going to definitely lead into today's discussion. When you're doing the breath work, watch your posture. Like I noticed I was crossing my legs and a little hunched over when I was just doing it now. Be aware of your body. Kind of just check in head to toe. Are you uncrossing your legs to enhance the circulation? Are you opening up your chest? Are you trying to sit up properly? I'm trying to stay close to my mic, but in general, make those few minutes of breathing work, okay? And again, the lead into today's discussion. Go ahead, announce the topic of the day, Dr. Ravi.
Technology.
Okay.
And the effects it has on our overall health.
Wow, this is such a subject.
This is a huge subject. And I don't know where to begin with
I have to laugh because it scares the crap out of me. I am married to a very techie husband, but he does agree with everything that we're about to share. Yeah. And technology has enhanced us in so many amazing ways.
For it.
Very thankful, very grateful. But
it's like a double-edged sword.
It's a double-edged sword, and we have to appreciate it and use it correctly, wisely, and kind of not just like anything, just like that amazing chocolate or coffee or anything in life that might be like, oh, this is so amazing. It could have a negative consequence, which we're finding out definitely right now.
Yeah. And you know what? It was brought to my attention, especially with this pandemic that we're facing with everyone now.
Oh, there's a pandemic
There
right
is,
now.
yeah. If you haven't noticed.
yeah, I did a Zoom call with 12 of my closest friends from New York. You know, I grew up on Long Island.
That's what's amazing about technology. We're connected
right?
with people
and
that we couldn't have.
We do reunions every year. We didn't do one this year. So Zoom calling, I guess, is the hottest new thing now for everyone. So we did it. It was amazing. We stayed on for 3 hours, touch base. Now they're all in the real heart of it and really facing some crazy challenges. But their spirits were high. They were laughing and joking. One of my closest friends, her daughter just had a kidney transplant, only at 18 years old. She had to go into Manhattan to see her immune specialist. Talk about scary. So she's definitely immune compromised and has to go into the heart of the city. And she was fine. She's laughing, and they're all looking at this in the most positive light. And some of them have lost aunts, uncles, grandparents. But in general, I want people that aren't connected to people in New York to know they're not all just sitting at home shaking and scared. They're being optimistic. They're being positive. They're being happy.
Yes.
They're posting more jokes on Facebook than I've ever seen ever.
Yeah.
So there is a little light there. So
that's great.
Yeah, I'm trying to focus on that.
Yes. And so with the show this morning, I hope we can, inspire people to take this technology to another level as far as being aware of what they can do to prevent any major health concerns.
Definitely. And I think that we will have to maybe update this topic, every 6 months or so, because technology is growing so quickly. The information is growing so quickly. So we'll try to give practical information today, and it's a very controversial subject, but we are going to discuss things that we firsthand know are affecting people we work with, we know, we love, patients, so that way the information is true and can help you out.
Yeah, and when we talk about true, there was a research article that stood out to me, and this was actually looking back in the last 3 years, and what they found out was adolescents, just adolescent population, actually has a screen time. So those individuals in front of an iPad, in front of a computer, even in front of cell phones, 7.5 hours a day.
Yes, well, especially with the homeschooling now, my children might be beating those averages.
Oh.
I told Elena this morning, I said, Elena, if I find out you were on YouTube all day while I was at work, I'm going to be really upset. As she's holding her phone, making her breakfast, not even breaking eye contact with the phone. Yes, Mom, of course. I'm like, oh, that speech really worked. I'm like, but if you are an essential worker and you are working and your children are home,
what do you do?
Yeah, they're going to be staring at their laptops for schoolwork, staring at their phones for YouTube.
Checking emails, Facebook. And
go out and exercise 3 hours by yourself. Sure, that's going to work. Yeah.
Yeah. And, talking, you as a mom, there was a study done in the UK, and 4 out of 5 parents say that they rely on social devices, so like the iPads, the cell phones.
1 out of 5 are lying. They're lying, Dr. Ravi. It's 5 out of 5.
So I'm glad we're talking about this.
I mean, unless you're Amish and you have that 12 violin playing children, Well, they all have devices, even if they're,
they all do.
doing
as
like little math games on them. They're doing something on
as little as 1 year old.
I know.
On cell phones, knowing how to swipe it up and, get onto YouTube and ask mom to put on a little video for them.
That's right. Yeah, I see it all the time. I went to a well check. What is it? Oh, Jonathan. Yeah, he was getting a well check, and there was little kids in there that not even a year old, and the parents are holding up the iPhones for them right on their chest to entertain them in the waiting room. And I was like, oh, my God, you're putting that right on top of their chest.
Yeah. And I want to talk a few minutes about this.
Yeah, so we talked about that we know all the kids are using it. So what could be the consequence of giving a child all the way up cell phones?
So we're looking at lack of physical activity. So when we have lack of physical activity, that increases our chances of obesity, overweight.
Yes.
And the health complications that come along
which we
with
already
that.
have an epidemic
we
of
already
that.
have that going on with our, locally here as well. We're above average when it comes to the weight of adolescents and teens.
Okay.
So, lack of physical activity is what we're seeing with these devices are actually causing that. Also, engagement with others. So the social engagement, we're not getting that anymore. Yeah. And that social aspect of development is very important.
And I want to add something here, because as a mom, I notice I've seen so many statistics on that, the social aspect of devices, but I think it goes much deeper. Have you ever felt like when you started texting someone you know or love and the communication gets mixed up through your text, like you mean one thing, but obviously Siri doesn't know your emotional patterns, so it just texts it like a sentence.
Yeah, the other part takes it a certain way.
Yeah, and so I'm finding, especially in my children's lives, that their text message is definitely not getting understood, and then they're getting messages back that are confrontational or conflictive, and they're confused, and they're trying to learn so much about relationships this way. Like, oh mom, can you read this? I think she's mad at me. Oh mom, why is she saying this? Mom, why did she use capitals? I'm like, it's like a whole new study of relationships, and these kids are learning how to base it on text messaging, or comments on a game. Roadblocks is the new game in there. So so social issues, I think, go even deeper than they're not with their friends. Mm-hmm. They're learning what their friends mean through typed words.
Yeah, who knows? That might be a new college class.
Exactly. Exactly.
How to interpret words via social atmosphere.
Yeah, that's definitely tricky. Yeah. All right. So what other negatives are there?
Decreased intelligence. So one thing they actually looked at was gamers who spend 6+ hours a day.
I didn't know this
intelligence are decreased.
Do you hear that, Matthew? As you're probably gaming right now.
So they did IQ tests, and they showed that gamers actually have a lower IQ.
Wow, I did not know that, Dr. Ravi. Yes. I really hope that my husband and son are listening right now.
They're actually more prone to addictive behaviors.
Wow. Okay. Cliff is chopping the jaw too. This is crazy, because I really didn't know that stat. Okay, so addictive behaviors and lower IQ, that's enough reason to curtail. Now, do you know, as far as time, I know that there's a lot of people that will comment on these studies and will say, well, the body will adapt, and, human beings are just these evolutionary creatures that will adapt to every situation. So do you think our bodies can keep up with this technology? I mean, I know my body can't. If I'm texting for more than a half hour, especially right now, I literally feel weak.
So as a structural chiropractor, what I see is our body is definitely adapting structurally. So our shoulders rolling forward, our head being shifted forward, and along with the health of an individual, our body starts adapting by creating these health concerns. So for example, your body adapts when let's talk about hormones for a second.
Oh, fine. Go ahead.
When we are on social media,
okay,
right, and we post something, we tend to go back and look back to see who has liked a post or who is conversating with this post.
Yes.
And this actually creates a dopamine high in our body.
Wow.
So this dopamine high is feeding your social interaction on social media or even on emails. If you send an email out and you're always constantly wanting to know, did this person reply back?
Right.
You're always rechecking and checking and checking.
I'm going to make an acknowledgement online, and I'm really embarrassed to say what I'm about to say, but I want the awareness to be out there. I find myself in the last few months, before I comment on one of my friends' pictures or whatever they're posting, I read other comments first to kind of adjust my comments so I'm not confrontational, or I kind of go with the crowd. I can't believe I'm doing that. I find that if our young people are doing that as well, I'm an adult and I'm already doing that, that is destructive. I mean, you are basically, talk about peer pressure. And if I don't know, I'm really concerned. I'm trying so hard not to view other comments and kind of get lost in that deep, dark hole. I've never did that before. I would just post a comment. I wouldn't care if it was repetitive or if it was confrontational. It would just be my personality, be my thoughts. Now I'm like reading others' comments and then curtailing. I'm like, this is not good.
Yeah.
So I'm making this confession because I'm hoping other people become aware that if they're doing that too, we all have the right to our voices, our personalities, and not everyone is going to agree or like him, and that's okay. But we can't lose ourselves in social media.
Yeah.
It would be the worst.
And one thing is being mindful too. So what we see a lot with this social aspect is when it comes to technology is the social bullying.
Yeah.
So we
big
see
problem.
this definitely on like the Facebook, on all the different social media platforms, is people trolling one another and just putting their ethical sides down, what they believe in.
That's right.
So one big takeaway for this portion is being mindful of other individuals and their opinions, and just being open to hearing what they have to say.
Right. And that's the whole thing. No one's forcing you to read the post or,
Yes.
and so it is a choice. It's like if you see a protester on the corner and he's holding up a sign that says something that you don't agree with, okay, keep moving. You don't have to, bully, you know, and that's really, really important. There's a lot of bullies out there. I think what I love is I see friends that make a very aggressive post and then all of a sudden they'll be like, oh, yep, just got unfriended by 5 people, It's like, wow, that's like the ultimate. It's like, I'm going to unfriend you now. Boom. You're out of my life, It's like, really, dude? You're like 3 countries away,
And now how does that affect the other person,
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Well, and that's the whole thing. Like, when they say that you get angry, at a driver that goes by and might cut you off and you're mad and, all day. Meanwhile, that driver has no idea who you are and what they caused you.
Yeah. Joanne, I know you were talking about the Zoom.
Oh yeah,
Zoom. I don't know the
Zoom calls.
Zoom calls that are happening. Like everyone is on.
Everyone,
these
the
things.
kids are on it. Everyone's doing Zoom conference
I
calling.
have to say, thank God for technology. This weekend, we were able to get together some of our friends and play a game on Zoom this weekend.
You did not.
Yeah,
That's so awesome.
Really cool.
Wow.
So it was able to actually, as we're being stuck indoors, we're actually able to face-to-face see others and get out of that,
what a great
loneliness.
idea.
Yeah.
Wow. That's so cool.
Tabletopia.
Yeah, I heard, there is a couple, what is it called? Table what?
Tabletopia.
Tabletopia.
You can play some games on there
Okay.
via Zoom.
That's super cool. All right, I got to look into that. There is a couple controversies about Zoom as well. Like people are saying, oh, it's hacking and stuff. But I've been using Zoom for years for conference calling, and I've never had a problem. So hopefully they'll work out those kinks and that rumor will get dispelled.
Yes.
So
yeah. Another thing here is the lack of ability to concentrate or to focus.
Yes.
So I'm seeing
definitely
this
feel that one
with some of the teachers that I take care of. Who get their spine adjusted, get stress removed from their body, is that they're saying that they have to sometimes take out that chat component of Zoom.
Yes.
Because the
I've
kids
heard that.
aren't able to concentrate and focus.
Yeah, too many people are kind of interjecting in there.
Yeah, and some of these kids, they're jumping on right there on their technology, their laptop device, while they're in that school setting, is jumping on their social media. So their Facebook, they're, listening to other, or Netflix, watching movies.
Yeah, it's like bed, couch, bed, and then one device.
So they're not able to focus well.
Okay.
So
we know all the problems of technology, and I want to get into the one, you have that big poster, which I didn't know this was actually, a coined term, but text neck.
Text neck.
And I looked online, and there's so much actual information about how our head, like you show it in your poster, just like, it looks like it's just hanging off for dear life with nothing to support it. And I read somewhere that it's like heavier and heavier the more that the neck
as your head shifts forward.
Okay.
So ideally your ear should be above your shoulder.
Okay, Cliff, we're going to have to change these mics for next week, or else I'm not going to have good posture for Dr. Ravi. I feel like I'm leaning and he's going to be yelling at me later. All right. It's all right. Okay.
At least you get adjusted.
I'm blaming you, Cliff, because, I'm really the one with bad posture. So
So what happens is when your ears are no longer over your shoulder, your head typically weighs 8 to 10 pounds of pressure.
Okay.
And so what happens is as our head shifts forward, each inch it shifts forward, you're adding additional 10 pounds
Holy moly.
of weight.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. And just think of, someone that is a non-essential worker or just working from home now. They're sitting behind their desk at their computers. Their body is now not in their normal position and their head is shifted forward. So what does this do? It adds undue stress to their shoulders, into their neck muscles, and also that dissipates down into the lower back. So that causes the discs, which act as shock absorbers, to become irritated. And that irritation can lead to inflammation of the nerves and lead to aches and pain. Those nerves also run right into organs, so it can cause digestive issues. So that's where, we're a big component of moving or ergonomic desks, where you're sitting at on an exercise cushion or an exercise ball, where your body's able to move and your muscles, your proprioceptive, your postural muscles are being integrated into your spinal bones, where you're moving around effectively, and those muscles are allowing for movement within your spine. Movement is key in the spine. So if your segments of the spine is not able to move, it increases more room for inflammation.
Yeah, and sometimes when we're in pain, we really we stop moving, and that's our worst thing for it.
Yeah.
Well, I love Dr. Mercola, right?
Yes.
So, and I also now am totally hooked to Dr. Shiva, who's all over.
Oh, I love him.
I know, I'm obsessed. I have to admit, I'm a little bit obsessed. Okay, but he was saying on one of his videos that the frontal vertebral bone. Now, he believes it's like literally causing so many problems with the text neck that people are having swallowing problems. And, Matt goes through that. And we're thinking maybe this is not about acid reflux. It's because he's such a techie. He's, probably hurting his throat just from the neck, which makes common sense to me. You're collapsing an organ. It's going to have pain and problems.
Not only that, but it are the swallowing issues leading to now sleep apnea, so not breathing properly, and also gasping for breath,
which is so common now.
Now that airway is elongated.
Yep. So that makes so much sense. All right, so for anyone listening, if you've had these chronic, neck issues, back issues, throat issues. Oh, and I mentioned Dr. Mercola, he links it to heart disease. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, but this is how we think. Nothing is isolated in the human body. It's all communicating with each other. It all needs each other's support and help. So it makes sense if you're very sedentary, you're getting overweight, and you're crunched over. All your organs are going to be like, please, people, move. And that's why I got a standing desk 5 years ago, because Dr. Mercola, it made sense. If I'm sitting and hunched over 8 hours a day, it is going to really make a negative impact.
Yeah, and you know what? Many people aren't able to see their spine, so they don't really think about it. But
if they come to you, they could see it.
Then they see it, yeah, and they're like, oh, that's where that issue comes from. That's why I have, thyroid dysfunction. That's why I'm having neck pain. That's why I have these headaches that I think my coworkers are causing. When in reality, it's their spine and their posture.
I need you to talk some more chiro talk, okay? So I hear all the time that people like, oh, I have neck problems. Like they've been to a doctor or a chiropractor and their x-rays show that they have neck degeneration. And that means that they can't feel their fingers in their hands. Can you explain to the audience why the neck is connected to the hands?
Yes.
so many people don't get it, know?
Yeah, they don't relate that. And so in order for your brain to send the information down into your fingers for it to move effectively, for you to pick something up, for you to feel what a temperature is, for example, the stove is hot, their brain needs to be aware of that. And in order for that message to be sent down into the fingertips, into your arms, it has to pass through your spinal column, into the muscles, into the fingertips, and those nerves do that job. Those nerves communicate to those muscles. And these nerves are encased and protected by your spinal column. And so, Joanne, in the cervical spine, you have 7 vertebrae. All right, 7 vertebrae that are shaped like a block, and they stack on top of one another. And when these vertebrae get misaligned, just even a millimeter, very small misalignment, can now cause pressure or irritation on that nerve.
Okay.
Only 6% of that nerve can feel pain. And so when you have pain, this is a subluxation. This is a bone that's misaligned, now creating those that dis-ease.
Okay.
So numbness and tingling, poor strength, you can't feel the proper temperature where, one finger thinks it's hot, one thing thinks it's cold.
Gotcha.
This leads to neuropathies. And so what I do as a chiropractor, we align the spine gently in its proper position, especially the cervical portion. And the cervical spine is by far the most important area. I don't know if you remember Christopher Reeve's Superman.
Of course I do.
Yeah, he fell off the horse. He dented that first bone, so fractured that first bone in his spine. And, his organs started to shut down on him, right? And so it's to show you that the problem that, caused his paralysis in the lower extremity, so in the legs, weren't the nerves in the lower back. It was actually his brain couldn't communicate effectively down to the rest of the body. So it started shutting down.
Wow.
And so that's what subluxation does to the body. It shuts down the nerve conduction to the arms, now creating those issues.
But that's something you can fix, right?
That is something we fix.
Okay.
Yeah. And when you talk about deterioration, that's like arthritis. Everyone knows that word, arthritis. They think of it as an age issue, and it's never an age-related issue. It's when there's too much stress to the joint that now creates extra bone growth, because your body has to now respond to that stress. So it just lays down more bone. And as a chiropractor, we can't take away that extra bone, but what we can do is we can prevent it from getting worse.
Take the stressor away.
Take the stress away from that bone.
Which is the key, working on the cause,
Exactly.
not the symptoms.
Not the
so
symptoms.
not a drug that's going to just take away pain. You need to address why it's there in the first place.
Yeah, and you know what? You get the best benefit now when you get that chiropractic adjustment. You supply the body with the right nutrients, with the right vitamins, such as now vitamin B for nerve health.
Right. Well, this is a perfect break time, because when we come back, we're going to talk about the answers through chiropractic and nutrition to help with text neck, which is basically us on our devices creating a lot of pain and stress to our bodies. So give us a minute and we will be right back.
Hey, it's Dr. Ravi at Tradition Family Chiropractic. We are dedicated to serving you and your family with integrity, compassion, and innovative care through the most advanced chiropractic care ever in chiropractic history, encouraging your health and your family's health to its maximum potential on a regular basis. Call us today at 772-345-0060 or schedule online at traditionhealth.com for your free consultation.
Guiding the Treasure Coast in health, one person at a time. That's their motto at Joanne's Nutrition World in the historic arcade building on US 1, downtown Fort Pierce. Joanne brings more than 25 years of experience in the natural health industry, right here to you. Take advantage of this free personal guide to wellness and good health. Meet with Joanne herself and get started. Nutrition World always provides you with the hottest new product lines and, best of all, expert advice from the people who care. Call Joanne at 464-3598, 464-3598, and learn the correlation between diet and great health. Stop in today. The expert guidance to health is always free at Nutrition World. Nutrition World in the Arcade Building, US 1, downtown Fort Pierce.
Listen to Joanne's World of Nutrition every Thursday morning at 10 on WPSL.
This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
We now return to Joanne's World of Nutrition, Dr. Ravi Week. Once again, here's Joanne Seeger.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for spending some time with us this morning. I am thrilled that we have Dr. Ravi here today, and we are talking about technology, text neck, poor posture, and unfortunately what it leads to. But in case we have any new listeners, Dr. Ravi, you want to give us just the 1-minute version of who you are?
Yes, I'm Dr. Ravi with Tradition Family Chiropractic right here in Port St. Lucie. And so this morning we're talking about, technology and the effects that it has with our spinal conditions. So one thing is being in the profession now for 8 years is that I see a lot of health conditions arising from our posture. One thing lately is our ability and use with technology. And so this is definitely creating our curve in the neck to become lost, and now leading to like numbness and tingling in the arms, headaches, even certain organ conditions. And so we adjust the spine, get pressure off those nerves, so we get the body functioning in its right position and, functioning well, so we don't have these diseased issues.
Okay.
And now when I look at it from one of the other essentials that I teach is minimizing toxicity with technology is the use of EMFs, so electromagnetic radiation or frequencies, creating a lot of other health conditions.
Definitely.
So,
I think we're going to have to do an entire show on that.
An entire
don't you?
show, yes.
It's crazy, but you didn't know about the big 5G tower
in
right
our
next
neighborhood?
to us. Yeah. So you know where I live.
Yes.
So you go just 2 blocks right behind the nursing home in Tradition, and right next to my children's school, Renaissance. It's right there on the field. You can't miss it. It's with just a few steps from the end of the street. And it's a huge 5G tower. It has its own air conditioning unit. Huge sign that Matt walked right up to. I was screaming at him like, what are you doing? A huge radiation warning sign right on the gate. I mean, I'm talking huge. Did you see this one right here down the block from here in Fort Pierce? It has a huge one. I mean, this thing looks so
I know they're coming. I didn't know
state-of-the-art.
they were up.
Well, see, everyone that I see looks completely different, and they say that 5G has all different type of towers, but the one right here in Fort Pierce, it's this huge, majestic-looking pole. Like, I mean, the thing is really tall, all like built with stainless steel or some type of material like that, with this amazing, really sophisticated-looking antenna on the top, like nothing I've ever seen before. So this stuff is around us, but I have to admit, before 5G, I was already having an issue. My cell phone, Matt blessed me with this brand new state-of-the-art phone when it was released, and I have a word game, a puzzle I play every night. That's like my little gift when I lay in bed getting ready, and my hand would be vibrating, and I would feel this weird tingling. And sure enough, there was a story that the new phones, were giving off more radiation than the older models. And I was like, wow. So Sarah, who does the biofeedback at my wellness center, she sells these EMF blocking bracelets.
Nice.
And now I can
Everyone
play
needs-
my
yeah.
word game without my hand tingling.
Nice.
Isn't that crazy?
That's great. You
Yeah.
know, in fact, are you able to put this on your phone?
Well, she sells so much stuff. To be honest, Matt got a card from her, but that's supposed to go in his pocket where he
Okay,
throws his
yes.
cell phone. And then I got this so I could, when I hold my phone, I
Yeah,
have this.
that's what I
But
recommend, especially with now this 5G coming out, and everyone being, wanting to reduce their EMF exposures and increase their sleep. This is something that needs to be on our cell phones, on our bodies, and some crystals. I see you wearing a crystal.
Yep.
Yeah, there's certain crystals that help to block those as well.
Yeah, the Himalayan salt
Himalayan,
lamps, which I have like
yes.
20 of.
Good.
Well, Sarah, she has a whole kit. She even has kits that we're considering for our home. You actually put it outside by your meter to block the EMFs to come into your house. And they're not I don't think they're that expensive, but if any of my listeners are interested in this topic, I think I'm going to give Sarah's number out. I know she won't mind. She's a professional biofeedback therapist, which is clinically proven to reduce stress.
Yes.
So her name is Sarah Viau, Viau. And let's see how I get her phone number on my phone. Let's see. It is 772-333-9046. So she does biofeedback at my wellness center as well as her office. Very reasonable. Matt and I used her. She's amazing. So she sells all these different EMF blockers for your phone, for your body, for your home, your office.
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that. That tower is right in our neighborhood. Is it
It's
being built
scary.
or is
No,
it already
it's
there?
finished. I mean, it's finished, and I just think it's coincidence that wow, we didn't know anything about it.
Yeah. I have to say, I was talking this about we just did a lecture in my office about this, and a patient emailed me the other day with her phone showing 5G on her phone.
Oh, it was
So
the
I'm like,
fake 5G though. Just so
the
you
fake?
know. Yeah. So okay, Matt told me about this. It's not Verizon.
AT&T?
It's AT&T.
Because she has
And
AT&T.
yeah, so if you look real closely, there's another letter next to 5G. So it's there. I think it's L5G, and it's basically not really 5G. It's showing that it's capable of 5G.
Okay.
And so so we thought the same thing because my daughter's on my ex-husband's plan, which is AT&T, and I was like, "Oh my God, Alina, your phone says 5G. What's going on?" And then we looked into it, so it's not
Okay,
5G
good to know.
yet.
Not
Um,
yet.
Yeah, but
Okay.
it is. I mean, it looks like they're all like they're all on. They're getting turned on. All the schools are having it put in right now. From what I hear across the anti-5G world, and so. Okay, so you're just it's education,
Education is big.
awareness. We can't stop it at this point.
No.
The 5G is going to be everywhere.
But what
so
we can do is implement these things,
Yeah.
such as what Sarah is sharing. So implementing this entire life.
yeah, the one thing that sometimes I get a little bit concerned because I think Matt just texted me. So it's 5GE is the one that's not
5GE.
real 5G.
Okay.
So
Thanks, Matt.
the one thing that concerns me is that I feel like my whole life I've been able to make personal choices to say yes or no to the things that bother my body. If I choose not to have that ice cream sundae, I'm making a good choice. If I choose not to smoke a cigarette, I know I'm obviously making a good choice, and so on and so on. So I feel like with this 5G, it's getting me a little upset because I don't have a choice that huge pole is now like a couple blocks away from my business.
Yeah. Yeah.
And right next door to my daughter's school.
Yeah.
So,
and
here
it's-
I knew
it's
you
gonna
would just
be more-
dying
it's
to
gonna be more-
interject.
It's going to be more common. And actually, the cell companies are talking about bringing back their concept of what they call the little LEO satellites. And these were all killed by the FCC 5, maybe 6, 7 years ago. They're coming back because of the need of our infrastructure. Internet infrastructure in this country is very poor, despite what
Okay.
a lot of people are saying. We're about maybe 20 years behind Japan. So they have to do something to beef it up. And one of them is these little LEO satellites, and they're brain cancer studies with those things. They're low orbiting satellites. Look it up. It's
No,
all
I
over-
have
it's all over the
heard
web.
of this. I
Yeah.
have. So, I've been obsessed in the last month of watching everything and learning everything I can. And to be honest, Dr. Mercola, who I really feel like is an honorable man,
Trusted
a
source.
trusted source, he has a book about 5G that's out now. And what he says in it, I honestly, it's sometimes too much to bear to know all this because
Well, and
I
6G
like
is
I
on
just
the way.
well, that's what I mentioned. It's like I have a choice if I'm not going to smoke a cigarette or do a drug or make bad choices. But this, I don't have a choice. It's going to be right there. So we're here to get everyone stronger, smarter, to
And-
make.
And given some good action steps to
Yeah.
do to help us.
So
with
these
this.
EMF blockers, definitely a good idea.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And nutrition. So what can we do to
Oh,
help
nutrition. Yeah.
with all this?
Do you know this such ridiculous now on social
Yeah.
media saying that we can't help our bodies with food, that food has
It's-
no impact on our immune systems? I'm like, are these people on crack? Like, how could they say these things? Like, that's ridiculous.
There's so much supported evidence to say so, that it does support our immune system.
Yeah, live on ice cream and Burger King for
And
a
what
month and tell
happens?
me that you're not feeling like, junk. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Ugh,
Yeah.
that makes me so mad.
As a chiro coming from nerve health and spinal health, one big thing we were talking about was the numbness and tingling in the arms that many people have when using these devices. It shuts off nutrients to your nerves, and one of the main nutrient for your nerves is vitamin B's.
Yep.
Yeah, so making sure that when you're you can never go wrong with supplementing vitamin B's in your diet, in your nutrition, in your...
I stress it for every single person. I always suggest coenzymated Bs because I find now that people can't take regular B vitamins you just buy off the shelf because they can't convert them. I kind of joke. Most people take B vitamins to fight stress and give their body energy. But if you take synthetic vitamin Bs, it takes so much stress and energy to convert them to the usable form. So I on my shelf, it's like coenzymated Bs only.
Yes.
I just really stress that.
And those are the methylated ones, correct?
Exactly. It's what you absorb. It's not what you eat or take. It's really what your body
you're
is
absorbing.
Converting and absorbing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so this is something you obviously offer at your store.
Yes,
right?
of course.
Great.
Yes.
Yeah, and so
We
these
have
are,
a few vitamins there, just a few.
and you have the right one.
Yes. Well, that's why I tell people, it's like, oh, your store looks like a smaller selection. I said, yes, because all that other stuff, either
It's
I
high
felt
grade
it was
stuff.
junk or it didn't work. So why bother selling it? If I'm not going to personally take it, I will not sell it. Not
Yeah,
for a
good.
profit or not to make my shelves look fuller.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
people, I was talking to a few patients just past this week, and they get lost in that vitamin section.
Yeah.
Because there's so much. They
Yeah.
don't know what to take.
It's overwhelming,
Yeah.
and it's a lot about marketing.
It
One
is.
one lady was like, "Oh, but it has to be this brand of D3," and I sometimes get a little chuckle because I'm like, "There's not 1,000 manufacturers that make the raw material. It's just thousands of people that are putting that product in their own bottle. They get it in these huge vats, and then they put it into their hopefully clean GMP facility, and then they put it in their bottles. So it's only like 2 manufacturers for D3 or maybe 3 for B vitamins. Like, it's not like there's thousands. It's thousands companies that buy from them and then put it in their bottle, But
along with their fillers.
But
and
yeah,
added
I
stuff,
crack up when they're
yes.
like, no, it has to be that D3. I'm like, yeah, that's the same D3 that 70 other companies use.
Yeah, and along with that's one of the best ones for nerve health is vitamin B's. But now when we talk about vitamin C's for immune system health, we're seeing some of the research that China is using this for patients that just was recently diagnosed or is in the hospital for this COVID.
Yep. We've been stressing vitamin C
Pandemic.
for how many years?
Yeah.
It's critical for immune health. And I've been trying to treat customers. It's not like I'm avoiding this discussion of virus, but I feel like everyone already is talking about it 24/7. They're waking up to click on to the death count, and they're waking up and watching the news, and it's already stressing their bodies, giving them anxiety. So I'm just talking in general. Vitamin C is great for us no matter who we are. The nutrition and eating, red bell peppers and yellow bell peppers and pomegranates and having tart foods.
Yes.
That's the way to go.
That's the best medicine.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyone that doesn't like taking the supplements, there's different ways to get them. Just like you said. The
Don't you
bell
have
peppers.
an incredible app for like kids for nutrition, a
Yes,
menu?
We do.
What is it called
again? It's called the Max Living Recipe Guide for Kids.
Max Living Recipe Guide for Kids. And we need help with kids right now, especially if we're working in their home. We need help feeding
They're
them.
in the home. They are looking for things to snack on.
Yeah.
We want to help
It's
them
usually
make the
out
right
of a dry
decision.
box.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
Yes. So if anyone that's listening wants this free guide, just give me a text. My number is 954-933-8260. Just text me at that number with your email address, and I will gladly send you this. I just ask that you share it with others as well. because the more you share this, the more we're able to get out this information to kids. It's more better for them.
And as corny as it sounds, our children are our future.
They are.
Whether we want to think about it or not, we really
we want them to be intelligent.
Intelligent, yeah, and strong and healthy.
Yeah. And many of these recipes, it's very easy to prepare. It's fun for the kids to do in the kitchen while you probably get back to your work at home, doing your things that you have to get done.
And they can look at it on their phone. So
they can look at it on their phone. Yes.
Well, Dr. Ravi, some of my listeners are probably like, wait, did Dr. Ravi just give us his cell phone number?
Yes.
So why don't you repeat it one more time in case they're over their shock and ready to write it down?
Yes, that number again is 954-933-8260. That is my cell phone number. So just text me your name if you want, or just your email address. I will send that over to you. And if you have any questions, regardless when it comes to your chiropractic care or chiropractic care in general, you can text me questions there. I love to answer those.
That's why I love you. See, and I put my cell phone number on the back of every business card, and it's for that reason, because sometimes people, in the middle of their day are like, wait, what do I do? And now they have the ability to reach out to us and get the help they need. So,
yes.
Yep, that's
I
awesome.
just don't respond after 10 p.m.
I'm snoring by 10 p.m. Are you kidding me?
Yes.
I want to stress one more thing. So to doing a little research for today's show, I found this most amazing study, which makes sense, but I can't believe how impactful it was. So they did a group of people, I think it was about 163 participants, and they interviewed them while they had their devices in front of them in a regular chair, and they noticed that they were slouched. They were kind of negative, despondent, almost like some of them were angry or hopeless, like not very good emotional status. Then they took that same group, brought them back in, and they had no devices were allowed this time. And they had these posture chairs where they had to sit up straight. They couldn't slouch. And all of a sudden, the same participants weren't speaking negatively. They were strong. They were optimistic. Isn't that incredible?
That is.
Just from changing posture.
Posture,
They called it like a power posture, that they definitely find that people that when you walk into a room with proper posture, the power posture, you emit definitely more positively strength, following. So yeah, I guess if we saw like one of our leaders coming in like all slouched over the desk, we wouldn't really feel much confidence in them, right?
Yes.
So I thought that was a really cool study, you know?
Can I add on to that study?
Oh, please do.
So my sister-in-law, who is a cardiologist.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
My wife's sister.
Okay.
Yeah, sister-in-law.
Close enough.
Yeah. She is. She was telling me that they had to do a course on communication.
Really?
Yeah, and she sat through one of my lectures, and she's like, the power stance. That's what they teach in that communication class.
That makes sense.
So it actually helps with treatment plan acceptance for cardiology procedures.
That's incredible.
So the way they communicate, it makes sense with what you're saying with this study.
Yeah. I mean, it all is common sense, but it's not something that we usually think about. We're always just kind of, wrapped up in our own world, Yeah. All right. So we're wow, God, the hour runs by so fast with you, Dr. Ravi. All right. So TextNet. So basically, we need to get our children in to see you. We need to get them on that nutrition app so they see the importance of food, but also exercise. Exercise. And you know what I find? That most of the exercises pretty much are yoga to me.
Yoga.
And I know my kids love to do
breathing.
yoga. So like cat-cow, downward dog, all these positions to really, and it's stretching and exercising good for every human being. But maybe we can get our kids to get excited about it, because we'll tell them it's only 10 minutes. 10 minutes of yoga moves, put some great music on. You don't have to make it all like with the incense and the, just make it fun, and put a YouTube video on.
There's this new one that Nike the Nike has this app. I would recommend everyone downloading it because it's free.
Okay, do you
It's-
realize we're starting this show because of too much technology
know,
and we
and we're
keep
now-
naming apps? I'm telling everyone to watch
This is why
YouTube.
It's double-edged
I know. I'm
sword.
saying watch YouTube. You're saying download apps. Okay, we're okay.
Yes.
Double-edged sword, like we
Yes.
mentioned. Okay.
So the Nike app, it has a lot of different movements that actually guide you through it. And so
do they have yoga too, or
they have
just
yoga exercises
Really?
and
Is
stretches.
it free?
It's free.
It's free.
It's free.
Okay.
So it's an app.
Matt,
that you
put
wanna
Elena on
download.
this right away. So Nike app, free exercise and like tutorials and everything.
Tutorials, yes.
Wow.
Stuff that you can do at the desk, in your own living room.
Okay.
But here's the thing: when we're talking about exercising, getting outside, getting that vitamin D from the sun.
Yep.
Great free nutrient.
Early
And
morning sun, not
yes,
dangerous.
Have
Yep.
the kids take the dog out for a walk. That's
Yeah.
very simple.
I can't wait till you have kids,
I know,
Dr.
right?
Ravi. We're going to revisit these comments. Okay. Yeah. I can't get them to get out of bed right
Oh,
now.
man.
All right. So exercise, nutrition, chiropractic adjustments. I know my kids love seeing you. They always feel better.
And
And
eliminating
water,
water.
hydration. I always stress if you can't get your kids to drink the water, give them vegetables or fruits that have lots of water
Water
in them.
content, yeah.
You have to get hydrated to give, the fascia, the muscles, everything, lots of lubrication.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And last thing too was the EMF exposure. So
Oh, yeah,
checking Sarah
blocking
out
it.
for
Yeah.
blocking these EMFs.
Yeah, and biofeedback is super cool. She can still do it right now because her machine, she can put the wires 6 feet away. So if people are concerned, they can definitely do that with her. And it's clinically proven to reduce stress. I mean, right now, I feel like
Yeah,
stress is at an
everyone has it.
all-time high. And she's so reasonable. Her sessions are like $75. Normally, it's like $200. So Sarah is
really
super
good.
reasonable. Yep.
Yeah. And she's at your wellness center?
Yeah, and she does it out of her home right off of Gatlin.
Okay.
Actually, Matt and I go to her house, and she has a beautiful little practice there. It's really cool.
Okay,
super,
great.
Super, super clean. You don't have to worry about any germs in her house. It's
Nice.
spotless.
Well, Joanne, I'm going to do my research on these Leo satellites because I
Yes.
didn't know they.
But if anyone, so again, I am the least controversial person I think on the planet. But the 5G, you need to educate yourself to protect yourself. I'm not trying to induce fear, panic, or anxiety. That's not my nature. But awareness, education, and then do something about it. Make yourself as strong as possible, your immune system as strong as possible. Don't sit and watch the news all day and get anxious. Go out, be proactive, make a difference. Make a change. So thank you so much for listening, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the show. Next
for having
week, I do have a gut specialist on next week, Dr. Jason. Yes. Okay. So thank you so much and have a great week, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Ravi. Have a
No
great
problem.
week.
Glad to be here.
And
Bye.
remember, downloading apps is not equal to the overwatching of YouTube. Archives of this show are going to be on YouTube by the weekend, by the way. And we're probably going to replay this show over the weekend as well on the radio. You've been listening to Joanne's World of Nutrition, Dr. Ravi Week, on WPSL, Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast, webcaster to the world.